What's a harmless thing that terrified you as a child? The busy tone when a call went dead. That used to scare the shit out of me. Yes. Why did they have to make it so unsettling? That little rope of boys that separated the deep end from the shallow end in the pool. Yes. I'm 35 and those still creep me out. Not to mention those large boys in lakes/oceans. I'm not much of a swimmer. BC pretty much anything in the water, including dark water itself, creeps me out. Edit, I do already belong to submechanophobia and thalassophobia subs. Creepy stuff. And THX for the awards, my firsts. I thought the bathtub drain would suck me down with the water. Me too. I hated that super loud suction noise when you drain the tub. Scared the piss out of me. Whenever the floorboards creaked, I imagined myself or my bed falling through the floor into the basement. Happened to a neighbor's daughter. 13-year-old girl, chilling in the bath. There's a creak and next thing the bath is in the kitchen. She wasn't hurt. That fucking alligator under my bed that wanted to eat my feet. You gotta turn the lights out and jump in bed quick to avoid its wrath. And tuck the sheets in under you with no limbs exposed so it couldn't get you? Yes. So many people had a generic monster or demon, but for some unknown reason, it was always an alligator under my bed. Ceiling fans. I was afraid that it would come off the ceiling still spinning and chop me up like a helicopter blades. That and millions of bugs crawling through the windows and covering my bed like the plastic casket things people used to lay in on Fear Factor. Yeah, I totally grew out of that fear. It's not like I, an adult, strategically arrange my bed to make sure that the ceiling fan can't kill me while I sleep. That would be so silly. I refuse to put ceiling fans on high because I'm still scared they'll come crashing down. Terry Fox. So in Canada we have Terry Fox Day and the Terry Fox Walk because this guy, Terry Fox, tried to run across the country on one leg to raise cancer awareness. My child brain however didn't quite understand why. I didn't really understand what cancer was and nobody would tell me anything more than it's what took Terry's leg. I assumed it was a person or something. So all I knew was that we were walking because a dead man with one leg said we should spread word about cancer who stole his leg and giving him money. I was so scared that if I forgot to donate or if I missed the walk that Terry Fox's ghost would come with whoever cancer was and take my leg too. Oh my god, this is why people need to properly explain things to kids and not use euphemisms and such. Did you also get McDonald's orange drink at the ends of your Terry Fox Day runs/walks like I did? Lol. Escalators scared the shit out of me. Trying desperately to fit within a rectangle before it becomes a step, jumping off of them at the end to avoid being sucked down into oblivion. And there was one or two anecdotal stories from the news to convince me that they were, in fact, killers. I'm dead certain I triggered an escalator to go into safety shutdown mode as a kid. It had bristles on either side, so I shoved my dumb kid foot into it thinking it was a shoe polisher, and when my dumb kid foot got stuck for an instant the whole thing came to a sudden halt. The grumblings of all the adults, parents of mine included, made me think I shouldn't ever tell this until just now. My mom always emphasized the dangers of escalators so that I would be cautious and hold her hand, but she tended to use graphic descriptions of like how it would suck my hair in if I fell down it and then they wouldn't be able to get me out, so I found them disproportionately terrifying. Now as a 34-year-old woman, I avoid down escalators unless I absolutely have to use them, and then it takes me a minute to psych myself up to step on. It's basically the embodiment of that David Mitchell quote, "The trouble is that some children are timorous and some children are reckless, and in order to save the lives of reckless children warnings are calibrated for their safety, the result of which is that the timorous live in a state of perpetual terror." What I needed to be told is, you know what? Most days, you won't die. It's fine. The FBI warning before movies scared the shit out of me. I was terrified of the glowing lights coming out of the earth during the Universal theme song. You wouldn't steal a handbag. The THX sound effect that preceded most movies in the early 2000s. It always scared me as a kid. I listened to it last night and it still makes me uncomfortable. Not sure why. That and the lion for me. Holy shit, I remember when I was little we only had one IMAX theater remotely close by and it had the most ridiculous speakers, so whenever my dad wanted to see a movie in IMAX I was always terrified since the theater made the THX opening sound like it was heralding the end of days. Helicopters. I remember freaking out and crying if I saw one. They were like sky spiders. My dog is also afraid of helicopters. She's cool with airplanes, but helicopters are gonna eat us apparently. Sky spiders, Lamar. That's the best thing I've ever heard. Old televisions, right after you turned them off, they would glow for a bit. That's when the monsters could come out of the TV and get you. Sounds like poltergeist has scarred another person. I had to, and still do, always close my closet doors and was absolutely terrified of looking under my bed, especially at night. Porcelain dolls. I'm 27 now and still terrified, lol. It's the cold, dead stare. Those gives me the creeps. Not weird at all. On this similar note, baby monitors. They always use this shit in creepy movies. I would hear the static and my baby in black and white and feel like something's going to jump at the screen. Emergency broadcast. Fuck that noise to this day. When you're just vibing at 1 AM and that fucking alarm comes out of nowhere and sends you to the shadow realm. Remain calm. An SCP has breached containment within your county. Avoid all windows and doors and make no sound. Swallowing seeds from fruits. Was teased that they would grow and take over my insides and the tree would eventually burst out of me. Did you grow up watching Rugrats? Parents told me this too. I believed them. I believed them so thoroughly until I said the same thing to my new college roommate. She told me it was all a lie. I had been bamboozled. Frown. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.